Whew. Welcome back. I've missed you so much. Let's solve some puzzles, why not? That's just what we're doing. Join me on my puzzle solving journey. Connect all light cells, all dark reaches of area 2. Okay, well it's either going to be this, which would force our hands here. So it's not going to be that. This is how it's going to be. Which means we do have to block these. And those. That's got to be connect all light cells, so there you go. Corner rule. This would overload. So, yeah, connect all light cells, connect all light cells. Yeah, not too bad. I feel like I haven't done a lot here in Serene Deluge. Actually, I'm pretty sure that if I count the number of puzzles I've done, the fewest is in Serene Deluge. So this is as far as I can go here, so I have to go at least this far with the 5. This can only go this far, which means it has to go at least that far, actually. So that's done, which means that's done, which means that can't be here. That's done. You know, that means it's also done, so there you go. Well, whatever. I've definitely solved the least puzzles here, but we'll see what I can find. These cannot connect. Don't make dominoes. Connect all light cells. Those will have to connect to each other, which means that would overload. So would that. This has to connect to the 5 here, which means it has to go out at least once. This would be fine. In fact, it does have to go up this far. There's no getting around it. All light cells must connect. So we do have to go through here. Nice. Okay, I see light motif, but I don't know where I would stand. I probably have to stand like way up there, so I'm not going up there right now. I'm just solving the puzzles I see here. 6 has to go up at least once. It could connect here, but then that's as far as it can connect, so it does in fact have to go up twice. The 5 is done. That's gotta go. Yep, there we go. Oops, too far. Yeah, I think I gotta be up there somewhere. Or what? Or is it looking through? Okay, whatever. We'll find out. Okay, I've already done this one. How many floor? Oh, hey. Let's pick up an Echo of Time. Oh, we get some sweet lore. More Than Mere Beauty, page 4. Obley called on me one day. We all remember who Obley is. We've watched all the videos. And we could recount the lore by heart. So I don't have to remind you who Obley is. I didn't forget, I promise. The flame of his being flickered with uncertainty. There are those who do not trust you, he said. They fear you are manipulating our destinies. They question your nature. The wound of their mistrust cut deeper than the teeth of the fracture ever could. Most of us do not feel this way, he added. Amiya, Nutu, Voyan, LOI, and countless others. It will be on the test. You do need to remember who these people are. It is only fair that the Pneuma should decide on their own fate, I replied. When the time comes, I will call for a gathering of minds. It is the way of the Aurorals. How many of these have I done? That was an Echo of Time. Sorry, I've done quite a bit. Actually, hold on. There's a whole mystery I haven't done. Should I do this today? I don't remember where this is. Descend halfway down the waterfall, solve the logic of the 3 orbs. This feels like a Lucent Waters thing, but I don't remember where it is. Okay. I keep forgetting. Like, I keep thinking I've done all the mysteries, and I haven't. There's one I haven't done, and I just have been putting it off for no other reason than I've forgotten. Is it just this? No. Feels like this is what it would be, though. Right? Like, we've taken this... So you get this pattern, it's shrinking down, but... think this was it. Okay, that's it. I don't know why. It just felt like that was it. Okay, I think we have to free our guy this way. I have not done this maze. Let's see if we have a challenging maze or just a pathway maze. It says it takes only 30 seconds, so I think this is going to be a somewhat simple maze. Oh, and I hear a cube somewhere, too. Whoop. Move this way. And then I bet we're going to wrap around this side. And then we're going to just do a thing. Is that it? That's it. Yeah, that wasn't too hard. So is it down on this backside? Yes, it is. Alright, well after I solve these, maybe I'll go back into the mystery. Because there is that. Connect dark and light cells, okay. Well, I can either do this, or it's this. But either way, the black cells have to go around like so. That's just forced. That has to come up. It can only go up one more space before overloading, so it does also have to come out this way. The 6. Light cell has to be here. We have to connect it. Which means these have to connect. These have to connect. Means that's done. Pretty sure that's going to be a black cell. That's got to be a light cell. That's got to be. There we go. So then we're done. Cool. I hear you. Ah. Hip. Can I look through that? No, I can't. So I need an angle that sees all 3 of those and sees through here. Feels like an angle kind of just right here should do the trick, but not quite. Ah, then there's that. Maybe on this other side. How do I get on this other side and get this piece? There. Ooh, haven't leveled up in a while. I got Obley's gloves. Can I wear them? Am I allowed to wear them? I'm not allowed to wear Obley's gloves? How will I ever show my devotion to Obley? So, edge of waterfall. Is it going to be this direction? Okay, there's no waterfalls down here. You know, we can also look at the map, which was going to put... It's going to get rid of our thing. But waterfalls are going to be this direction, so... Oh, hey, there's just Shiora. So I'm thinking we're looking at this somewhere. No, it's not going to be all that. That's too far away, I think. But we've got to be looking at a temple and a bunch of waterfalls. Maybe we're up on this edge looking at those waterfalls? That can't be right. This is too far away. Well, it's not as too far away, we just don't have the right angle from that. You just have to see waterfalls in the background. Let's just check. There you go. Like, looking at waterfalls here makes me think there could be temples this side that you could look through. But no, this is not right. Oops, wrong button. Well, now I lost it. And also my camera changed. That is really annoying. Okay. What? So I want to get this in position. Okay, we can do that and get the... Hold on to get this in place. Red and yellow. That. And to get the blue in position, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Oh, another one. Look at that. Okay, let's get yellow in place. Let's get these in place. No, hold on. Actually, let's get green. Oh, green's already in place. Let's get blue in place. Now let's get green in place. Okay, there's that sightseer again, but I don't know where it goes. I just genuinely... What is... I'm looking up a pathway, too. Like, I feel like I've got to be lower than I am. Where's the angle I see all these waterfalls at? Maybe down here? Or down... This is too low. It's also the wrong kind of temple, I think. Alright, this isn't what I'd be looking at. Don't think that's right. But if I wanted to say that's a pathway, like... It could be, but how would I arrange this right? Finding that hidden ring would help too. Yeah, that's like the hidden ring. Right? So I just need to get further back on this path. But then I need to have the temple in view. So do I like look around here? How do I get a view to see the ring though? Like, no, this doesn't feel right. But it's like that's the ring. And that's the path up, but I'm looking at it more from this side. Am I inside here? Am I... Can't be inside here, can I? Maybe somewhere... I can't really be that much higher up. But like... That's what I'm looking down at. Right? But now I just need to be down. But like, this, the lighting is all wrong. What is the... Excuse me, what's the angle I can do on this? Am I over here? This feels right, but where? Where's that ring? Oh, there it is. That was tricky. Hey, music grid. Haven't seen one of those in a while. A little bit of music dictation for y'all. What's that? Connect all dark cells. Okay. Well, if I did this, we would have to... Actually, that would work out just fine. Whereas if I did this, it would not work out fine. So this is, in fact, our pattern. That's how our dead ends are going to go. There's got to be one of these two has got to be black, but the other one isn't. So that's dead end is here, so we can't... We have to bring this up, I think. If we don't, we'd have to make another dead end, so yes. Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Let's just do right in here, see what happens. Yep, that's the spot. You know, while I'm here, hold on. There's a cube there, and there's a leitmotif here. Let's go to Lucent Waters. Because the mystery says... Oh, hold on. Let's grab another Mirabilis. We need these to power our time machine. In another viewpoint, we have to remember the rules of the puzzle above. Damn, I don't remember the rules of the puzzle above. Travel far away to memory, a different sort resting atop precipice where stone faces smiles upon the pink waters. Descend halfway down the waterfall. So, like, this seems like the place. Halfway down the waterfall, and there's a puzzle with 3 orbs. Is it going to be in this area? I feel like we already did a mystery with this one. Yeah, I feel like we already did that. So halfway down the waterfall here is not the same. Well, the only ones I can think of, there's the one in the tree there, but that was a different mystery, and then there's the one over here, which is a different mystery. So what would it be? Descend halfway down the waterfall. Where else does a stone face smile upon pink waters? Oh, this is a pretty narrow exploration space. I guess we gotta go on top of the spot to see the rest of the relics. Maybe I should have looked this up before I came here. I do not remember where that mystery is. A stone face smiles upon pink waters. Halfway down the waterfall, solve the logical difficulties. And I say it says far away to a memory of a different sort, too. You know what? Let me look at the names of these enclaves. Maybe that was it. I don't think that's true. No, it wasn't an enclave one. Well then. I thought maybe that'd be the trick, is memory. Use that. Oh well. I don't know. It'll happen. I bet I gotta be on top of that island there. I think we have to move these over. I can move this up. That doesn't really help me at all. No, it's still... I can move this up like so. But now I'm trapped. I can move that. I can move this and be even more trapped. That can go there. Okay, okay. This is something. No, it's not something. This can go there. Okay. I think I need to be standing here. There's one down here, it looks like. Which island do I need to be on? A little further this way. There we go. Cool puzzle. Let's grab a couple here, then head to a new area. I think that's what we're going to want to do. I think this is all set. The dark regions of area 2. Yeah. All numbers are off by 1. Okay. Don't make dominoes and connect all light cells. This got to be a light cell, which means that's a 3. This is a 3. That's got to be. This has to be as well, which means we do have to solve it this way. We can't be off by 2. We can be off by 1 here, but then connecting light cells would be impossible. So that's got to be a dark cell. Then that has to be light. And this has to be off by 1, which means there we are. Alright, let's take a warp to a new area. Let's head over to Shady Wildwood and do something. Let's head back this way? I don't know. We're just wandering. Really not much else we can do here. Alright, that's, I guess, a puzzle. Alright, where do you go? Where? There? Yep. Last gotta be black. Collect all light cells, dark regions of area 2. Maybe not. Connect all light cells, though, so that it would overload. We'll see. That's gotta go down. Okay, connections. He's got to connect. We're back at the temple. That does in fact go there. Well done, me. So is it just trace the outline and then do... Yeah. Oh, hey, another floor. How many of those we got left? We got several. Ooh, okay. Do I want to start at the top and work my way down? Possibly. Let's try that first. Yeah, that's fine. That, I think I need to have a vantage point on the upper end to get this leitmotif I see against the building. Might need even a higher vantage point. No, I just needed to be a little further this direction. This one, it just needs to be over here. Cool, cool. Okay, I see green. Where's red? Is it low down? Maybe? Is it... Hold on, was that it over to the right, to the left, I mean, in the tree? No, I was just confused. Thought there was a red box in the tree over here. So... where do I go to see the other piece of that puzzle? Alright, well this is definitely too far away. They're usually not this far away from each other. These two go together. Is it on the bottom here? It doesn't look like it. It's not like in the building here. Hard to say. Oh no. Okay, those for sure. Okay, let's try that. But eyesore of a puzzle. Where could I see all three of these and see everything else too? Not over there. There's no way to see through those two, so I have to be on this side of it. Or this side of it? Yeah, somewhere here. And there's another one right over here. And a leitmotif. Okay, this guy looks like in this vicinity here. Sorry, there we go. I'm just good at those sentinel stone puzzles. Another one. How many sentinel stones we got? That's quite a few. Okay, well, where are we going to send you? Is it going to be down... The thing about a nice big matchbox out in the open is it really could be anywhere, the other piece. Be nice to find the one that takes the crazy angle first. So this is a different symbol, so note of that. What the heck is this leitmotif? I think you're going to be seeing it from the side over here, maybe? Well, let's take care of this shifting mosaic while we're here. Can I can bring this down, and I can bring... Okay, well, alright. Okay, connect all dark cells, so everything's symmetrical, which means that's symmetrical. That is symmetrical. Well, radially symmetrical, so there's that. Means that's going to happen. Is this right? Yeah, it's got to be up. And then that. Yes. So how much we got? 53. I just got to block. Oop. 2 more. This isn't symmetrical because... What's not symmetrical about it? I'll have to figure that out. Hold on. These look like they're symmetrical. Like this. That's it. Okay. So where would I stand to get that light motif? Aha! Swag. Area numbers. This is fine. That is not fine. If I did this, we'd be in trouble, though, so that's also got to be blocked. This is okay, but that's... that can't be white, I guess? That could be if these are both black. But if we did this, though, we'd be in trouble, so that's a black cell. Can't connect to there, so it's actually going to be here. No, it's not. Hold on a second, what's going on here? If this was white... That's got to connect there. But now this can't connect to any of that. I guess I could... Sorry, I could block this here. That's fine. I'm stupid. I can block it this way. And then I can block it that way. There we go. That's more like it. I just made a stupid mistake. That is why that puzzle took so long. So maybe the leitmotif I was seeing is from this side out here. That one's done, but this one isn't done yet. Okay, so I gotta get through... here, and then I've got to... Yeah, okay. It's kind of done for you. Gotta get a better angle out here. Yeah, that's a very long range leitmotif. Okay. I feel like I don't really explore this corner of Shady Wildwood all that often. Okay. Oh. So I should explore this port of Shady Wildwood more often. Hold on. Yep. What I should also do probably is look up, after I record this, that freaking mystery, so I don't waste my time any further with it. Not look up the answer to the puzzle, but look up where I'm supposed to go, because I just genuinely don't remember it. Those have to be blocked. Oh no, okay. All numbers are off by 1. Well, we still can't do that. We still have to make that white. This could be done. Could make it like this. Yeah. Yeah, the numbers being off by 1 kind of wore out its welcome a good 20 to 200 episodes ago. I don't know. That one wore out its welcome very quickly. I'm kind of over it. Because it just kind of feels like, haha, gotcha, you tried to solve the puzzle, but you're not supposed to solve the puzzle. You're supposed to do this other thing. Know what I mean? Like, okay, so... Got it be... Maybe got it standing on top of this? Yeah, I got to stand on top of that. Right? Like, you can't just solve the puzzle. You have to do a second secret thing. Okay. Red. Are we going to be over... Now, there's a ring, though. I did see that. It is nice that if you hover your mouse over an unsolved ring, it does kind of light up a bit. Is the green on this island? Or is it out this way? Who can say? But I know if I grab that leitmotif, I can say I've done it. I feel like this one doesn't want me looking at him. There we go. I do see sentinel stones right in here. No, it's got to be... Can it be from, like, this corner here? Just... It's as soon as I... Yeah, there we go. Alright, this is done. That's done. 6, don't make diagonals. Okay, but we can make straight lines, you just can't make diagonals. So anything down here is fair game. So if I did something like this, where would I put the 2? Up here. Anything would be bad. So that means this is a dark cell, which means both of those are light. Now if I made this the light cell here, we'd be fine. Those would be your 2 dark cells. If I made this the light cell, we'd be in the same problem. In fact, if I do... Yeah, if I did this, anything here would be bad. I think this is the only way to do it. Which means none here. This is complete. 3, 4. So these cannot be done. Those have to be. That's complete. That's complete. There. That was strange. Hey! Oh, look at that. Glide ring immediately. It's just going to take me back to the island I was just on? Yeah. Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's go to this corner. Have I explored this corner recently? It doesn't seem to be a lot over here. There's a maze I haven't solved. Oh no, it's going to be one of these. It's going to be an up and down maze. Which I say oh no with pleasure, the way that, you know, somebody who's like being tied up by their super hot boyfriend would say oh no. Okay. I am officially lost because I'm not really thinking through through the steps I'm taking. I'm just kind of wandering and hoping that I do well. Oh, hold on, hold on. This is dead end. Oh, this is not dead end. This is launch me up to floor 3. Cool. Is that the final floor? It looks like we're at the final floor. Let's see if I can get to that spot. Is there a way in there? Kind of seems like there's not. Okay, there it is. Wasn't too bad. What's that? That's a hidden pentad. Here's a florb. 6 florbs. I feel like I want to be on top of the building first. So I want to be here. Oh no, got stuck. This feels like a terrible route. But if it gives me the gold time, I won't complain. That's right, there are these puzzles I haven't done yet. I keep on coming out here and it's toward the end of the video. Let's do them now. No squares, connect all of everything. So there's got to be at least one white cell here, therefore white cells go there. What else can we insinuate? Well, we can't have light cells around any of this edge now because of the rules with light and dark cells on the edges. No squares of any kind. Let's see, no squares of any kind. No squares of any kind. No checkerboards, that's going to break things. No squares, no checkerboards, no checkerboards. No squares, there we are. That must mean this is where this goes. No squares. Light has to come in this way. I think dark's gonna have to connect here. It could be light, not sure yet. This would force dark, this would force light. Not sure which is which yet. If I blocked here, if I opened this here, then light cells would have to break out this way, which I think is fine. This way is better. No. So, okay, hold on. This way is better. Okay, well, let's go back, just because I don't know how far back to take it. We know when we have white here, we have to connect all the dark cells here. We know these connect, we know those connect. We know we can't have squares or checkerboards. There's that. No checkerboards, no squares or checkerboards. This has to come in. Okay, so that's as far as we've gotten. So what if I blocked this piece here? If this can't be black because then that'd be white. So this has to be white cells. That's a black cell. That's a black cell. Well, actually, let's ignore that then. This has to be white. This is black. We're in trouble. So that's a white cell. That's a black cell. That's a black cell. That's a black cell. This is how it's done. Okay. Yeah, I just needed to go back because once I made the mistake, I couldn't see where... Like, I had to retreat back to a certain point. I couldn't see where to retreat back to. No squares, so we do have to do this. Connect dark and light cells. What can I infer from here? Well, these have to be odd. So whatever this is this cell. This is the same. Whatever that is. Any other spot where that's the same deal? Corners like that? Not really. I would hate to just be guessing. If I had light, we'd have dark. That's fine. If we had dark, we'd have light. That's also fine. We have to have these two are different. So no matter what, we're connecting. Yeah, this... We could do it that way. I'm not sure. Well, let's just take a guess here. We're just going to take a guess and run with it. That means we have to bring the dark out. We have to bring the light out. We still actually don't know. We have to make a second guess on top of this guess, which I really dislike. Now, if this were the dark cell, we'd have to go here. We'd have to break this out. We still don't know. There's way too much guessing. Way too much guessing there. I need to find a spot where I'm not guessing. If I did this here, black and white. Actually, if I did white, black this direction, I'd have to make that a black cell, which means we'd have to do this to avoid a checkerboard. And then we couldn't do this, we'd have a checkerboard. We'd have to make this sort of thing. And then we'd have to do that. Which means these would both be white. But then I don't know where to go from there. Oh, no, I do know that. And then these have to be, because you can't have checkerboards. Where do you go from there? Well, we can think of it. Whatever this cell is also that cell. Because otherwise, you have a checkerboard. Which means these four are going to be the same, and these five are going to be the same. Hold on, we don't know what that is. These five are the same. So we have this. And then we also have that. That would force a dark cell there. What if I put a light cell here? Would that force a dark cell? Would not. That would be forced here, that would be forced there. Yeah, that would force dark, which would force it there, which would force light. That would be forced. This would be one way to force if I put a dark cell here. Oh, hold on, I have a checkerboard. I can't do that. Let's go. If I put dark cell here, I have to put dark cell there. I don't have anything from that. Doesn't force anything. Yeah, that's... Let's do a similar thing here. We'd have to force a dark cell there if we put one there. Or here. We'd have to force a dark cell there. In fact, this is a light cell. We have to have light cells there. If this is dark cell, we have to have all dark cells. So what if we had all light cells here? We'd have to have dark cells like so. We'd have to come out this way. Which means you'd have to come out this way. This would all be forced. That would be forced, which means all these dark cells have to escape down here. Ah. Alright, so these has to be dark cells. Okay, that was a terrible way to get to that. That's got to be dark. Means we can't have a checkerboard. Means it's got to escape. We got to have light cells here. This could be light or dark. We don't know yet. if this was light, this would have to be light. So that's dark. That's light. If this was light, we would need light there as well. So we just have all of that together. So that's got to be light as well. That's got to be dark. That's got to be light, which means that's dark, which means no checkerboards are allowed. Light has to escape. Light has to escape, which means that's also light there. That's what we have. That's got to be light, which means this light has to escape. This dark has to escape. No, so hold on a second. Once more, if these are dark cells, light cells are forced here. If this was a light cell, we can't have a checkerboard, so we'd have to have a dark cell there. Great. That has to be light. That's got to be dark, which means that's light, which means you can't have a checkerboard here. Can't do that. If we did this, we'd have to have a checkerboard, so we have to make these as well. It's got to be dark. That's going to be light. Anything else? That's going to be dark, which means that's light, which means we can't ever swap because then we have a checkerboard. So we have to go all the way up and down. This has to escape, meaning that's a dark cell, meaning we have to put dark cells there. Light cells have to come out this way. We could make this a light. Well, yeah, we have to make that a light cell, which means then how do we get the dark cells out without blocking the light cells in? Which means these have to be light cells. But then this led to an error as well. If this is a light cell here, we have to go all the way down, like so. We have to now do it the other way around, but like there's no way out for this. What the hell? Once again, here we go. This has to be like this. We can't do this. That's a checkerboard. We can't do this because that's a checkerboard. So we would have to do all the way down here. Dark and light connect, which means that's a checkerboard. So yeah, that's a trap. So it is forced here. But we had a trap here as well. We have to go all the way down. We have to block. Like so. But how do I get the fucking pieces out? That's going to be light, which means this could be light, though. That could be light if that is. Yeah, it's got to be light. That's got to be light. It's dark. That's dark. Means that's light. Which means this is dark as well. If I did this... No. Well, now I've got that. What the hell? How do you... What the fuck is wrong with this puzzle? Is there something else going on here? This is possible. It's just that if I had this piece, I would have to do that. So maybe this is it. See, I feel like I have to make huge guesses and then design the entire puzzle around the guess, rather than look at this board and go, oh, I know where to logically to go to next. So I really, really dislike that because it feels like I'm not solving the puzzle. I'm just making a guess until the puzzle just solves itself, which I just hate it. I hate doing that because I'm not using my brain. All right, well, if we put a dark cell here, then we'd have to put light cells here, or at least on one of them, but I don't know which one. Let's say we had a dark cell here. We'd have to have a light cell. Well, then we'd have to do a dark cell there, which would force these, which would force that. So we can't have that. So this has to be a light cell. Because if this is dark, yeah, this has to be a light cell. Which means this has to be the case. That's got to be the case. Those got to be the case. So either one of those. That's dark. But I still don't have a clear answer what I'm supposed to be doing next. Okay, well these have to now escape, but we don't know which direction that escapes. Like, either one of these is fine. Well, this would cause the problem that we saw before, so we definitely have to block it. Which means the light has to escape through here somewhere. It could go this way, or it could go around that way. But I don't know which. There's no guarantee which is which. If I blocked this, these would both have to be light. What if I blocked it like this? Okay. This really doesn't tell me anything. Like light here. Okay, that's just the answer. I don't like that puzzle at all. Not even slightly. Not even 1 out of 5. It's too much guesswork to do. There's not a break-in for that puzzle. Just guess it till you get it. Alright, let's see about this really super high star puzzle. Connect light and dark, no squares, as before. Okay, so where do we make our sort of logic? I guess we have to try something. So if we tried this piece here, we would have to put a light cell here. But we can't have checkerboard, so these both can't be white. Light would have to escape this cell that we've made, which means at least one of these is a dark cell. They can't both be light. That's got to be, though. That's as far as we'd get there. At least one of these two would be light, which makes that light. That's fine. That's fine. But is that guaranteed? What if that's a dark cell? Well, either way, light has to escape through here. One of these has to be light. So it could be this way, or that way. But there's no guarantee, no way to know what it is. Light has to escape here. They both can't be dark. Is there another spot? Dark has to escape, but it can escape either side. Well, let's look at the edges. The edges have to be done like this because of where the black and white piece are placed, which means we have to block those out. Can't have squares happening, no checkerboards happening. No checkerboards can happen. That has to happen. No checkerboards. No squares means no checkerboards, no squares, no checkerboards. So I think this is the break-in. None of that. None of that. No checkerboards here either. No squares, no checkerboards. No squares or checkerboards are allowed. That's gotta come out. This has to come out like so. That's gotta be white, which means we can't have a square, can't have a square, can't have a checkerboard. Can't have a checkerboard. Okay, so that is the guess I made at the very beginning was in fact correct. That has to come out this direction. Okay. One of these two is white, which means that one's white. It could be both, don't know. This actually has to escape this direction. Okay. This has to be dark because we don't want checkerboards. We don't want squares either. Yeah, we gotta escape now. That's going to come out. Yeah, this puzzle is much better, because, like, it's difficult, but there is a way I can just logically point to something and go, that has to happen, rather than going, well, let me guess this piece and then see if that leads to a solution. I just don't like that. And if you think, well, there was a logical solution in the last one, if you're designing a puzzle, you need to design it so that you can see the logical solution before you see the guess. Like if someone can't find the logical solution, they'll guess. So you need to make the logical solution apparent. And yeah, that does make puzzles easier, quote unquote, but it makes them puzzles instead of guesswork. This is fine, that's fine. So now we're at a point where I'm going to have to search a little harder. One of these two at least is a white cell. One of these two at least is a dark cell. I could block this off because the black cells connect to the edge there. How about these black cells? These ones have to escape through here, either this one or that one. Yeah, it's an either or, though. We can escape up here, or we can escape out this way. So we have an... Actually, hold on, I gotta make sure we got squares here. At least one of those is white. At least one of those is white. At least one of those is white. At least one of those. So this is possible, or this. Either way. Well, if I did it like so, that's fine. If I did the other way around, no, that was the way I just did it. We'd have to bring this up. That would be brought up. No obvious issues with that. These white cells, like if we just connect them here, then we're saved there. But we can also connect them up here and be connected to the broader set of white cells. These black cells have to escape somewhere, but they could escape through here. Actually, hold on. If I escape this direction, I have to have a square. So no, they actually are going to escape down this way, which means we have to block here. That is now set for us. Okay, we got that far. One of these two's got to be black. I don't know. These could both escape through there. We don't have to... Well, at least one of these has to be like this. Either this way or this way. It's got to be a dark cell. So I think we could do it that way too. Is this a light cell? That's a light cell. That's possible. To make that a light cell. If this is a dark cell, though. That's got to be a light cell. Which would be forcing this, which is fine. But if I just block this, we'd be forced. Yeah. So we can't block that. That's got to be a dark cell. If we blocked it here as well, we'd be done. So that's got to go. That's got to go. If I do this, yeah, it's fine. We just couldn't block that, I guess. I could block it now. If I block this, I have to go this way. That's fine. If I don't, I have to go out this way. But if I were to block this in here, let's say this is blocked. How do I get these black cells out this direction? I don't. Therefore, there has to be a black cell here. And here. We have to get out this way. There's no way to bring it around through there. Because this can go out to connect, but then we have to connect this direction. This could also connect down, in which case it would still have to connect out. But either way, it has to connect out here, which means we now have another white cell to place, and we have checkerboards to avoid. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to get somewhere now. No checkerboards. We gotta connect. Haha! See, that's what you call solving a puzzle. Instead of guesswork. Okay. I like this. This is a good one. this last bit. So all of this can be blocked off because this whole maze is connected to the outer edge. We can't block this, however, so either it's going to connect here or it's connect that way. These white cells need to go somewhere. They can go up here, but then we would have to connect this stuff, which I think is fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's a good one. Yeah, that took about as long as the other one, but it was actually a better puzzle, so I'm going to end on that. That's a high note for me. Oh, no, that's not true. I'm going to end on this one. This one's going to be a high note for me, I hope. No squares, connect dark and light cells. All right. So let's start with this edge thing. If I do this as a light cell, I have to make all of these dark cells. Does this lead to a problem? Now let's say I did instead, that's a dark cell. That's going to be a light cell here, which means not as obvious what I do with these. Ah, but either that... This is a little bit more granular sort of solution, as I just try to figure out what the edges are going to be. So if I start here, I at least force a huge move that could potentially be really stupid, right? Like if I can't get a solution from this, then this is a little scary. Actually, hold on. Is there any way? Because then we'd have to do two. If that's black, but if that's white, we'd also have to make this black, which could make black. So I think this is wrong. So there are other sort of granular bit by bit we have to do. That or one of those two, not sure. So I think we have to start here. Now if I could figure out any other edge piece, I would solve sort of this little bit. One of these two's got to be black, but it doesn't have to be this one. If it was this one, we'd have edge all around, but I don't think that's going to be right. What if I made this the edge piece here and I made it all white around? Now this is going to lead to similar problems as before, I think. Yeah. So, that's a dark cell. It's a light cell. There we go. Here. Now if I do this, we basically have what we had before. Alright. Oh, we just immediately have a problem with that here. If we put a dark cell here, we have to go around, and now we have a checkerboard or a square. So that means we have this set up. Now we could bring it around now, but I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. So let's not bring it around. Let's bring this this white piece out. Yellow piece. What am I talking about? We can keep just doing this guess of if we put a black piece here, we have to go all the way around, which is going to cause problems for us. Yeah, it's going to cause problems in this area. It's really where it's going to be. Because we block this, we have to have a dark cell. So we have to have a dark cell here no matter what, which is either going to be there. So, light cell here. Dark cell here would be a problem, so that's also light cell. This would have to be a light cell as well. So at least this far is light. Now if we put a dark cell here, we're still making the same issue. Yeah, we still got the same problem going on. Yeah, it's exactly the same issue, I believe. this has to be a dark cell, which means... yeah. So, once more, light. This has to be dark. This can't be dark. That's the checkerboard. Now, if we do this again, we don't quite have the same issue because the light connects down there. So let's try it. Here. We do have a problem there. So go back again. This feels like guess and check, but at least there's some logical inferences I can make. So let's make that a light cell, which would make these dark cells. We should make that a light cell. Now if I made dark cells up here, I think we're still going to run into problems. Yeah, we're still going to run into problems here. So we're going to take this up. Can't have this, so we have to do at least this far. Now, if this is the dark cells, still feels like we're going to run into trouble here. Yeah. So now the problem is in this central area. So let's bring these around. Well, this has to come through here. So now we do need to make this move. If I put a light cell here, we would have to bring the dark cells around. Which is fine. There it is. Yeah. That probably could have been solved quicker, but I wanted to like do it with that edge rule. I kind of like that one. That's a place I'm going to stop. I'm not missing any. I did the really bad one and then 3 good puzzles. Yeah. Let's make that a good stopping point. Thanks everybody for watching. I've been KeyofW, and you have also been KeyofW. I will see you